Hello everyone, I'm going to be going over homework number 9's number 16. Scientists claims that only 65% of geese in his area fly south for the winter. He tags 65 random geese in the summer and finds that 20 of them do not fly in the winter. If alpha is equal to 0.05, is the scientist's belief warranted? Now it doesn't say flat out what we're trying to figure out, we're trying to find the test value. And the test value is just z, so let's go over to the whiteboard. So number 16 states we're going to be finding z, and we're going to be using this formula. Z equals p hat minus p divided by the square root of p times q divided by n. So let's write down what we know. We know that n and x, n is equal to 65, x is equal to 20, alpha is equal to 0.05. Here are null and alternative hypotheses. P is equal to 0.65 and p is less than 0.65. And what we want to know is p hat and q. So let's get started. So let's find p. Now to find p, we're going to be using x over n. And as we know, n is our 65 and x is equal to 20. But something that kind of tricked me is that it states that 20 of them do not fly. We're trying to figure out the ones that do fly. So what we're going to do is going to be doing 65 minus 20. And 45 of those geese do indeed fly. So from there on, we're going to be using 45 as our x, just for this instance. So let's plug it in. X over n is equal to 45 divided by 65, and we get this big number. P is equal to p hat is equal to 0.69230769. And with that out of the way, let's find q. All right, to find q, we're going to be using q is equal to 1 minus p. Now notice how I said p and not p hat. And the only p that we have is null hypotheses colon p is equal to 0.65. So we're going to plug that guy in. We're going to get 1 minus 0.65. And we end up with q is equal to 0.35. With that, we've got everything. Now that we have everything, we have n equals 65, null hypotheses colon p is equal to 0.65. P hat is this very long number, and q is equal to 0.35. We're going to be using this formula to find z. And what that's going to look like is like this. 0.69 with some numbers represented by dots, minus 0.65, square root of 0.65 times 0.35 divided by 65. Now what I'm going to do in the next step is I'm going to do this top part, and I'm going to do this middle part, which is going to leave us to 0.4230769 divided by the square root of 0.2275 divided by 65. And when I do this whole part in one fell swoop, we're going to get z is equal to 0.715 with some numbers represented by dots that are behind it. Now in the homework, let me get that. 16 has a whole number and 2 decimal places. So we're going to do that to our number, and we have z is equal to 0.72. Here's all the work shown in one single page. And since we know that our z is equal to 0.72, our answer is D. Now, one thing it states is that because of the z test value 0.72 is in the critical region, we have to use that alpha, and we're going to be using the critical value method, in which we use to create a figure and put the critical value in the z and see if z is inside the shaded region or outside the shaded region. But we can just use the z and we get our answer. So that is it. Thank you.